Yeah. Speaking of Age of Sigmar, the Cursed City's coming out this weekend, isn't it? It's on pre-order.
It is.
What do you think to that, Joe?
Did you just call me Joe?
I said Jay.
Oh, thank God for that. I thought you had called me Joe, and I'm like, not this again. I kind of in two minds about it. Part of me really, really wants to get it. Like, snap, day one, pre-order, like, yes, give here. Because I loved Warhammer Quest. Like, I really, really liked Warhammer Quest. When I grew up, I wasn't the only child. There was me and my sister, but we didn't get on, and I didn't really have any people my age where I lived either. So,
yeah,
complete lack of friends and stuff growing up. But Warhammer Quest was like this one-player game. You could go and have epic Dungeons and Dragons style adventures with this party of fearless warriors and so on against just the normal dungeon bad guys and stuff. It was great, and these have taken like that to this massive, massive degree, where you have these beautiful miniatures, very nice looking game boards. The one thing that is making me not just like instantly pick it up day one is myself and my girlfriend play a game called Gloomhaven, which is a really, really in-depth kind of card-based board game.
Yeah.
With a really, really long and involved campaign system.
Mm-hmm.
And we've just put a lot of investment into that. I don't necessarily think this is going to have the same amount of like depth for the campaign.
Yeah.
I think it might have a lot of replayability because there's a lot of characters to choose from.
Yeah,
It's nothing like the 18 characters you get in Gloomhaven or whatever. But I don't know if this is going to keep us as occupied for as long. And I'd have to paint all the minis as well.
Yeah, with it being GW, you feel like you have to paint the minis, don't you?
Yeah.
Not just spray them.
So it's a tough one for me. I'd love to. And if I wasn't a commission painter and I just had time at the weekends to paint my own models or whatever, then yeah, I'd probably just grab it straight away and I'd spend the next couple of months just slowly getting everything nice and like high quality and beautiful like it deserves to be.
Yeah.
I do know how much it costs. I don't know if I'm allowed to say this on stream, so I'll let you decide that.
I mean, you have heard a rumor, Jay. It's a rumor.
Yeah, we'll go with that. Yeah,
It's a rumor.
On the grapevine, the rumor is that this is going to cost you 125 quid.
Okay.
Which isn't a small amount of money.
It's not small, but in my opinion, I don't think that's massive. Yeah, it doesn't feel massive either compared to like other products that they've put out recently. I know you're going to get people that are like, well, you only get this many models in this, and Indomitus I got this many models, and that's only cost 100 quid. But the thing about this is what you get is cardboard, and cardboard is heavy for a start, and it costs a lot to ship around and stuff like that. It takes a lot to piss about and make, especially cards and like pop out bits and pieces. There's an expense to that isn't as cheap as people might think. And there's a lot of diversity in There's a lot of
minis.
minis.
Well.
There's a lot of minis, not including the card. But you look at like some of the recent, let's call board games. Indomitus not included because Indomitus was a bit of an outlier. It was also purely models. So you've got like Pariah Nexus, which arguably is relatively expensive, but the worth is kind of there because you've got some expensive kits in there when you compare to other GW prices. Not comparing GW prices to real prices because that's another conversation. So compared to like other prices on the market, like Pariah Nexus is on par to a slight saving on terms of like cost of buy-in to what you actually receive.
Yeah, definitely.
You have what have we had other ones? We had Catacombs, Warcry Catacombs, which is £125. That came with 10 models, a bunch of cardboard, and some plastic terrain, which I didn't think was.
See, compared to that, this is like a steal.
Yeah, and that came with 2 rule books. It came with the core book and the expansion book.
Okay.
And that felt like a good price. It came with some a nice stock cardboard, like a game board, essentially a proper one, not like a paper rollout. They came with a bunch of models, came with a bunch of stuff, and if it's just the same price, then yeah, it's a steal. The only other thing you compare it to is like other Warhammer Quest products, which are probably around the £100 mark.
I think Blackstone was 95.
Yeah,
when it was released.
Yeah, but that was also like what?
And that was 2 years ago.
2-3 years ago. So obviously, a lot of things have changed in the past 2 or 3 years in terms of like stuff. But I think there's probably as many models in here, if not more.
I think you can compare this to real world board games as well, though.
Yeah, for sure.
Like if you wanted to pick up Zombicide, which is a really popular board game, they've got loads of different versions, and there's Kickstarters all the time for getting on new versions or new expansions and stuff for it. Zombicide's like 90 quid to get in. You get 90 odd miniatures, but the quality is nothing like GW, guys. I mean, they look all right, but then they're not this by a very good margin.
Here's a good one.
You've got things like Gloomhaven, 120 quid.
Yeah, exactly. Which is more card rather than miniatures, right? It's got more cardboard in compared. But one we could a real life comparison is this weekend. This isn't GW. We're going off the grid right now. Okay.
Yeah.
This weekend.
I think that's fine for a game like this. This should attract people that aren't just into GW.
This weekend, Simon or Cool Minis or Not are releasing the Bloodborne board game. So Bloodborne is a video game.
Yeah, the vampires or something.
Yeah,
right?
so it's a video game. This is a board game based on it. And I've basically heard about this today. But it's a board game with miniatures, and it's a very similar setting. You know, it's like essentially it's not like a copy, but it's like a rip off of Van Helsing type deal.
I'm with you. Yeah.
And it's like that sort of it's a similar setting in my head to Cursed City. I might be completely wrong, but you know, like hunting monsters and stuff. And there's like a guy with a cool hat. I mean, what's not's the same? Is
it the guy with the cool hat that links the two together?
Yeah, exactly that guy.
Yeah. So it could be Danny then, is what we're saying.
Yeah. So this is basically a game with some boards. It's got a couple of miniatures, like a small handful of miniatures compared. This is like 80 quid.
Yeah, that's got 37 miniatures.
Yeah.
A load of cards, a load of tokens, all that sort of stuff.
But this
is kind of the price for a board game like this these days. Yeah. I remember when I was a kid, you'd think if Monopoly was £25, like, that's expensive. But we're not in the realm of like 6 little tokens you move around a small board anymore. This is very, very different to all of that kind of stuff. Yeah.
So this is a video that they've put out. This is a promo video. That was like a screenshot from the that's the video game there essentially. So you can see like Cursed City vibes, you know. That's what I see.
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
Like similar vein.
It's got a kind of Mordheimy look to it.
Yeah, Mordheim. That's a good one.
Imagine that Cursed City is meant to take place in that kind of environment.
Yeah. So the miniatures in this though are like I don't think they're hard plastic. They're definitely not built.
No,
you don't build them.
Simon are the same people that make Zombicide. Call Me or Not is that. And so it'll be like a hard kind of rubber. It's ever so slightly flexible plastic.
Yeah, like resin plastic. You know.
Yeah, they're not bad, and certainly they look like they're going to be okay to paint, rather than some of the really cheap minis you get. That are just like bendy.
They're high quality, but stock plastic, you know. So this to me, this is like the perfect time to release it because they're like very similar games, you know. That's the concept. If you don't know anything about Warhammer, right, you're just a board game player. These are like similar, and they're like compared to like these miniatures and what you get in there compared to what you get in here. I think that's like on par with like a good price. So if it is 125, 120, 125, then yeah, I'd say it's pretty close. Pretty good deal.
And not to mention as well, if it's 125, there's a lot of third-party retailers that tend to give 15 to 20% off whatever you buy.
So you're probably going to be looking at like 100 quid for real money to get it at least.
And like for me, I have this weird equation, right? I don't know if anybody else has something like this, but whenever I buy something for myself, I want to get my money's worth. So I have this thing where, like, if I buy this, how many hours of entertainment am I going to get out of it? And if it works out to be £1 an hour that I've spent for entertainment, I'm good. And I think something like Cursed City, especially if you look at the amount of time taken to paint those models, which for me is fun, and the amount of time playing the game, you are definitely like squarely in the black on this. You've made a profit.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's very similar to the Dark Souls board game, the Bloodborne one, but obviously Dark Souls is by a different company. But I own that one. It's a really good game. I really enjoy it. But this has got that vibe to it, I think, you know. And it's Warhammer Quest, so it's obviously a good system. I've never played the Warhammer Quest. I own Blackstone Fortress. It's sat in a box upstairs doing absolutely nothing. But I'm hoping to pick one of these up. I imagine it'll be popular because of the miniatures, as along with most other Games Workshop stuff.
Yeah,
I think it'll be really popular.
Like this is quite a cool thing, and this is apparently proof that this is around forever and not a limited release. So even if you don't pick it up this weekend or whatever, then you're gonna be okay to grab it whenever you like. In the box is just that War Scrolls book, and this is rules. Oh look, more Age of Sigmar content.
Age of Sigmar
Here
content.
You go. This is why Jay loves Age of Sigmar.
It is, yeah.
You can get all of these minis in your Age of Sigmar games, and I think they're just about to release the Midnight Aristocracy, which is a great name for vampires, and then they called it Soul Blight Hungry People or something, which if you were 12, I imagine you thought that name was easy to spell.
Jay,
Midnight Aristocracy.
Stop it now.
But I said 12. I didn't say infant anymore. All right?
We're getting somewhere.
Benefit the doubting people.
I think this is like on par with what happened with the other Warhammer Quest. So it'll be around for a while, and they'll release some expansions, and then it'll fall off the shelf.
Maybe.
Because that's what Blackstone Fortress did, right? And that's what the other Warhammer Quest
did. It's going to be about for like part of the Sigmar range.
Yeah.
So if that is like taken at face value, this will be part of Age of Sigmar. Then this is a really, really good way for them to just put out the occasional odd hero, give you the rules for the hero without it being in a Vigilus style, what's the new one? Warzone style campaign book.
Yeah.
But you'll also have it there for if you wanted to play Curse City or Warhammer Quest.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think that that's an exciting opportunity for new things to come out, to go into armies for both 40k and fantasy. If they do like resurrect a Blackstone Fortress like thing for 40k, if this does well, without it being like I have to buy this book for this thing. Instead, it's I buy this character, which has now just got some rules on the internet.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I do think this will probably lead into an 40k Warhammer Quest 40k too, just something else, a different theme.
But yeah, like I said, would I buy it right now? I want to know more about the campaign system, and I've literally just sunk like 200 and something quid into Gloomhaven and accessories, so for me, probably not. If I hadn't bought Gloomhaven and this was coming out, I'd already be like planning how I was going to paint all the different characters and everything else. I'd be so on with this.
It's a hell of a lot in there. So you got 50 miniatures plus objectives.
I know.
50 miniatures.
None of those minis are like simple, right?
No.
Look at the detail. Even the skeleton warriors, which are like the bog standard thing.
That's the thing with this, isn't it? It's like that, like compared to like other board games, it's all just like if you get a skeleton, it's just a guy and it's just printed 5 times. Whereas this is like, it's Games Workshop doing Games Workshop things.
That skeleton there, looks so much better than the new skeletons they've done for the other Sigmar board game, Warhammer Underworlds.
Yeah, exactly. So,
and he's just a random baddie in this.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, you think about it on if the price is right.
I was waiting for you to say exactly that. To get to the point. Well done.
It's £2 a mini, plus and you get all this free.
Yeah,
that's what I see it as.
Yeah.